On November 2, 1998, in Muskegon, Michigan, 19-year-old April Boss's mother and stepfather grew worried when she didn't return home from visiting her boyfriend, Jedediah Privacki. Near midnight, they went to the Privacki residence and were met with a grim scene. A man's lifeless body lay in the driveway. April's mother, Julie, called 911, reporting the presence of a dead man in the driveway, and noted that the expected occupants were missing despite their cars being there. The man, covered in blood, showed no signs of life. Police arrived quickly and confirmed the man was dead. As they searched the house, they discovered more bodies. 2 in a back room off the garage, another in a lower room off the basement, and a 5th in an upstairs bedroom. The victims were identified as 50-year-old Stephen Privacki, his 49-year-old wife Linda, his 78-year-old father John, his 19-year-old son Jedediah, and Jedediah's 19-year-old girlfriend, April Boss. All had been shot. Soon after the police began their investigation, they spotted 18-year-old Stephen Wallace, Seth Privacki's best friend, emerging from nearby woods. It became clear that Seth Privacki had committed the murders, and Wallace had helped him cover it up. Seth was still missing, prompting increased security at Reeths-Puffer High School, where both he and Wallace were seniors. Stephen Privacki was well known in the community, having taught 5th grade for 25 years. Linda worked as a receptionist, John was a widower living nearby, and Jedediah and April were students at Muskegon Community College, both aspiring teachers. Seth managed to evade authorities for nearly 24 hours before being found hiding in a barn about a mile from his home. Prosecutor Tony Teague described the scene as chaotic, with bodies and blood everywhere, struggling to understand what drove an 18-year-old to commit such atrocities. Upon his arrest, Seth confessed, citing that ongoing conflicts with his father as his motive. He admitted to murdering his family and April, stating he felt ganged up on and alienated. His criminal record included minor offenses like stealing beer and shoplifting, and his parents had been concerned about his mental health, seeking professional help for him. On the day of the murders, the family had gathered for a delayed Thanksgiving celebration. Linda was showering, Jedediah was watching TV, and Stephen was picking up his father. Seth, upstairs, loaded his father's .22 caliber Ruger. He first shot Jedediah, then ambushed his father and grandfather upon their return. Linda was shot after stepping out of the shower, and April was killed upon arrival, seeing the bodies. Seth admitted to the murders and called Wallace for help. Wallace had been aware of Seth's plan and helped move the bodies, trying to stage a robbery. They disposed of evidence, and Seth cleaned up before leaving to buy duct tape, possibly to further stage the scene. Wallace later helped with more cleanup. Seth expressed regret during his confession, wishing he could undo his actions. Both he and Wallace faced multiple murder charges, with Seth's bail set at $5 million. Seth's unusual request to travel before his life sentence was denied. Wallace's charges were reduced, and he was eventually released on bail. In May 1999, Seth pleaded no contest and received a life sentence without parole. Judge James Graves Jr. condemned his actions, highlighting the community's shock. Seth apologized, acknowledging his regret, but maintained he wasn't entirely to blame, alluding to an unspecified Mr. Cain, possibly referencing drug use or a biblical analogy. In November, Wallace was acquitted of all charges. Tragically, in July 2010, Seth was killed during an escape attempt from Kinross Correctional Facility, ending his life violently and abruptly.